Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions, 4 p.m. BST on a Wednesday afternoon. New to the show, Sophie and Naio is joining us, and of course, the First Lady of Amazon PPC, Destaney Wishon. How you doing, guys?
Amazing.
Thank you.
Excellent. Kicking off, Sophie, do you want to give the audience a bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, of course. So I work for ClearAds, an Amazon agency in the lovely Croydon. I'm a senior account manager there, so my typical day is filled working in Amazon and Amazon DSP and PPC for clients across the world, essentially helping them to grow their businesses through advertising. My background or my history, I've worked in digital for about 8 years now, previously in social, across channel, everything, so social and content, email marketing to Google ads, and now I am 100% Amazon. So here we are.
Okay, Naio?
I think, sure. Yeah, I'm Naio Olsen-Stahl. I'm one of the senior Amazon ad managers at Better AMS. I'm based in Dublin, Ireland, but I'm originally from New Zealand, so currently the token European time zone of Better AMS. Happy to increase that, but yeah, I've been in Amazon ads for around 3+ years now. Kind of mostly worked with Amazon brands in 20+ different categories and really focusing on identifying market trends and creating growth strategies with PPC. So working a lot with Destaney and learning lots from her as well.
Excellent. So for those living under a rock, Destaney, do you want to give an introduction to yourself?
Yes, will do. Also want to give a shout out to ClearAds. George is absolutely amazing. We love the work you all are doing, and George has definitely helped us in many areas of the business. So shout out to whatever side it is to y'all. My name is Destaney Wishon. I'm co-founder and CEO of Better AMS. We are an Amazon advertising agency focusing on everything from sponsored products to DSP. So that's it.
Sounds good. Right, let's start. We're going to cover DSP a little bit later. Obviously, this is about preparation for leading into Q4. Dee, do you want to kick off with some of your magic?
Yeah, sounds good. So I think one of the biggest things to talk about is just like the state of the industry right now and all of the trends we've seen. I think we had a great roundtable with you, Danny, a few weeks ago where we were talking about rising costs and supply chain and like all of these different factors. And one of the biggest things that I can kind of recommend is like making sure you're in a good spot with your supply chain and you're ranked well organically, and then using ads to really help push that traffic. So we're getting a lot new kind of creative types, different advertising types available with, you know, the opportunity to push more on audiences with sponsored display, custom imagery, sponsored display, pushing imagery on sponsored brands. And all of those small things will help you kind of diversify your ad spend so you're not just paying these ridiculous CPCs. So my tip is to make sure you're utilizing all the resources Amazon's giving to you as we go into Q4.
Cool. And how much is attributing to sponsored products versus the other types for you? Would you still say the market is roughly 86% and the rest will follow?
I think our average last we checked was around 73% of sponsored products. We do push a lot of sponsored brands through video and top of search. And then we played around with a lot of sponsored displays. So sponsored displays creeping up there into like 5-7%, but it's still majorly a sponsored products market.
Cool. And so with sponsored display, give some people some ideas of what they can do in terms of preparation, in terms of creatives and stuff.
Yeah, of course. When people log into sponsored display, I think there's so many different variables and different things you can launch that gets overwhelming. But at the end of the day, I always recommend you start with product targeting because you have exact control. It's just like sponsored product targeting. If you want to move up the funnel into more data collection, go to category targeting. And then if you want to start taking advantage of the expanded inventory, then you have audience targeting, which has remarketing, it has prospecting, it has like all of these different variables. But just know that as you move up into those different ad types, you're getting more top of the funnel. So if you're starting out, start bottom of the funnel where you have direct control. One of the coolest things with sponsored display is you can now add copy, similar to a headline search ad, and you can add imagery. So you can add lifestyle images, and it's on platform, off platform. So it's going to be a very big, rollout in the future of like everything from DSPs being trickled down into display. So being able to use both hand in hand is going to be amazing.
Excellent. So, have you got any comments on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to reiterate, the the elements of the funnel are so important when approaching Q4, as with any other quarter. Just understanding which format suits which element of the funnel, and which metrics you're using for each of those as well. So where you're testing sponsored display, you might see a completely different metric in terms of CPC versus ROAS in comparison to sponsored brands. But it's absolutely crucial to understand and know which part of the funnel that you're working with when setting up those formats. Again, absolutely agree with Destaney. We're seeing a lot more sponsored products. That tends to be where the higher purchase intent is. But if you really want to push your brand, start pushing awareness, start pushing reach, and getting people to know you and know who you are, then make the most of sponsored brands for sure.
And for you, what have you want to add in here, Naio?
Yeah, sure. So on the point of creatives, I think the best opportunity for Q4 is just quickly update your videos so that it's Christmas themed. That can be the most simple update. You put it in a snow filter, you add a bow or some gift wrap or something shiny, and then you put in jingle bells. Like, it can be that simple, and suddenly you've got a Christmas video for Q4. And that's going to help you on all kind of keywords that you might go a bit more broader with. So Christmas gift, Christmas presents, all that kind of thing. So I think another big aspect of Q4 preparation is the kind of keyword groups that you want to be expanding on. So you're going to need modifiers like gift, you're going to need presents, you're going to need, whatever events are coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween. If it's a baby product, you want to go for the niche, baby's first Christmas or a couple's first Christmas. There's actually quite a lot of white elephant keywords I see jump in, white elephant, Secret Santa. And so you just kind of combine everything here and look at the different markets and shoppers that you want to be getting in front of for the Christmas period. Those would be my big ones, creatives and Christmas keyword groups.
Well, staying on keywords, in terms of strategies, you're talking about gift keywords. Like, when I look at the point of gift keywords, it can be very much hit and miss, right? So gift for mum, etc., like that. I mean, you can knock it out the park with it, but also there's the opposite side of things, is when people are using gift keywords and it's like gifts for mum, it all then becomes in the eye of the beholder. They go to the page and they've got disparate products sitting on the page. How are you guys managing that in terms of optimizing when it starts to go a little bit left? You're overspending there, you're in Q4. How are you managing the bidding strategies, etc., starting with Destaney?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things that we like to do as a company, as Naio mentioned, is we do like to go really broad and see how we can get those mid-funnel, top of the funnel strategies, because sometimes your really exact keywords can be incredibly expensive. But if you're going to go broad, you have to have great bid management. So I think we typically start with lower bids to test the market and then see how we're converting on those keywords, especially if you go more niche, like baby's first Christmas or couple's first Christmas, where you're not just targeting Christmas gifts. Then you know that there is some form of purchase intent because you have a product extremely relevant to those keywords. So it doesn't hurt to start with really low bids, see how you're converting. And if you're converting well, then you increase, and then you really target, top of search and making sure you're dominating those areas a little bit more aggressively, but you have the data to make that decision. So if you're going to be testing anything, holiday themed, things like that, start small, low budgets, low bids, and then scale as needed. We have a lot of days. So well, I say a lot of days, like 4 months. So maybe not too many, but
yeah. So exactly. So you're dropping the bids and everything, but then you're going to big chance of losing top of placement, top of search placement in the ad algorithm. Have you experimented with daily caps? So you're not adjusting the bids, but you're capping the spend. Yes, you'll burn through that, but it means that in the ad placement algorithm, you're still going to be possibly staying in position for top of search until the funds are burnt. Do any of you guys work that way?
We do that often with ranking campaigns. I don't typically do it as much with like seasonal campaigns because I don't necessarily need to win top of search unless I know it's my most important keyword through the holidays. But that's a great call out because at the end of the day, if you're converting well, that's what matters, like on the organic side of the business. But sometimes you can't blow $20,000 on one top of search keyword. So you have to set budget caps. So you can be like, hey, I'm setting aside this $2,000 specifically for ranking purposes. I'm converting well. We'll see what happens, but without, hemorrhaging money.
Indeed. So what's your approach? And we'll get into the difference with DSP later.
Yeah, of course. Like you say, it's easy to burn money, right, with top of search. And I think there's two things here. So firstly, I would focus on data from previous Q4s, just to kind of give yourself insights as to what works, whether those gift keywords have worked before, whether they haven't. It sounds like an obvious one, but it's easy just to kind of go in when you're setting up a load of campaigns. And then secondly, it's very much based on the product. So if you do have one of those products where the bids are going to be naturally higher, we'll either do a cap or we'll just keep a very close eye on what those keywords are or how they're performing. But we'll go in with higher bids if it's a particularly competitive keyword. But I definitely say we work heavily with data from previous quarters to try and understand what's worked before. Again, everything is a test, but like Destaney said, we need the data to feed into that.
Yeah. Naio, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I like to kind of mix it in with the very broad targeting and then getting slightly kind of way more ranking and long tail keywords. Mm-hmm. So if you kind of have the kind of generic gift keywords, you can layer that in with whatever your product is. And then you'll start to see things come up like price modifiers. So there's heaps of things like Christmas gift under $50, white elephant gift under $20 that you can kind of find yourself in those niches. Yeah, again, it's very dependent on your budget, your strategy. You definitely want to have some, budget being focused on those kind of Christmas keywords and campaigns. But yeah, usually the longer tail, more kind of obvious link between your product and the season will work the best and convert the best. But you still want to get in front of all of the traffic that's coming in. And most people, when they see something, they just want to buy it straight away. They're not wanting to look on Amazon for 5 hours like they spend in shopping
Unless
malls.
it's a baby category and they're shopping in there. There's a lot of window shopping goes on there.
Exactly, yeah. So kind of try to leverage PPC to make sure you're actually getting in front of that traffic in some of the pages that are most important.
What kind of role does brand analytics play for you guys? Like you mentioned, you're looking at data from the sales data from the previous quarters on the individual accounts. Do you ever do a look back on brand analytics to see how the performance is there on certain keywords?
Yeah.
Sorry, Sophie, you go first and then Destaney.
Yeah, so absolutely. We'll look at it's a case of identifying trends, right? So identifying trends per ASIN, but then also looking at those that sell well together. Particularly, we might look at bundles if that is an opportunity for that particular client. So that's how we'd use brand analytics. But I think it's mainly identifying those trends in those reports and understanding which ASINs perform when, and what those metrics typically look like looking back.
Yeah. Destaney?
Same thing. My favorite is seeing whatever's trending on TikTok week over week. You can typically see by what your top 5 search keywords are because they make no sense. One of the things I do like, though, is seeing what products are at the top of the category, because with a lot of our new product targeting, remarketing, some of the things we can do at DSP, it allows us to really take advantage of maybe products who somehow got ranked really quickly at the top of the page for your top keywords. And instead of targeting the number 1 keyword, we can then target the products that are ranked well. So we can piggyback off all of their traffic. So that's something that we like to roll in.
Naio?
Yeah, I think kind of brand analytics are amazing to get that kind of bulk data around the board with Amazon. What I like to really assess and review as we come into Q4 is the top competitors for your products. And that can function in 2 different ways. Either the top competitors for your search terms, what are you trying to rank for, who's up there, and then who's ranking in the best seller category. So that's why I really like to kind of structure my targeting, try to find out, all right, who do we have a realistic chance to challenge, who's going to be taking the market share, and how can you actually improve and catch up to that kind of competition. Cool. Yeah, love it.
Excellent. So let's just quickly talk about pre-ranking some products leading into Q4. Now, I know, it doesn't start. Well, Q4 starts on the 1st of October, but the business end is normally the beginning of November, right? You have a 6-week run. So what are you guys doing now in order to get campaigns set up, and how are you approaching certain, like maybe more competitive keywords leading into the race now, and kind of getting to that point where it lands just nicely so the velocity can take off because the visibility is there whilst they hit the peak of Q4. So what would you normally do, Destaney, in terms of setting up these campaigns? How do you go about it?
I feel like ranking has been like the hottest topic in the last 6 months because no one can stay in inventory.
Yeah.
So they go out of stock, their products, move downhill incredibly quickly. They go back in stock and then they're realizing they don't have the honeymoon period to relaunch. So a few of the things we have been doing is, one, we recommend launch services, ranking services pretty frequently as a way to expedite that process. But from the PPC side of things, what we've seen do really well is just taking those core keywords we want to rank for, setting them up in exact match. I like putting top of search modifiers in place so that way we can go ahead and get as much traffic as possible off the bat. And then if we're converting incredibly well, we just set aside money for launching and ranking. So from our end, like, we just had to educate the clients. Like, look, you may not make money on this campaign, and that's not the purpose. The purpose is to convert incredibly well in your top keywords, which is going to improve your organic ranking over time. So set aside cash for ranking, and this is what we're going to do. Now, that being said, we've seen CPCs that have hit the $48 cap in like the supplements category and things like that. And that's when you need to make the decision if this is not realistic to rank with PPC. Let's look at doing something external.
Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely agree. It's initially making clear which keywords are important, but we keep them in very, very tight groups. So we know exactly what those keywords are. We're tracking them really closely. We're making it clear, as Destaney said to the client, that this isn't going to be the biggest return in terms of campaigns, but it's incredibly important. And then we can monitor those both organically and via PPC when working on them. And I guess in terms of prep and being ahead of the game, I guess you look at the holiday season or Cyber Week or whatever, you start way before. So you've got that data to work with coming into those certain periods of holidays, be it Cyber Monday or whatever. So it's kind of being ahead of the game. So you're not running around like a headless chicken when it comes to it.
Excellent. Naio?
Yeah, just my biggest piece of advice in the area of rankings is don't choose 100 keywords to rank for. You'll spread yourself thin, all of your budget will go towards it, and then you're trying to, justify that kind of spend for it's too much. Yep. Choose up to 10 is the kind of limit I would say for one of your best products. Mm-hmm. And Sophie kind of mentioned it before, go into your Q4 from last year search terms or any kind of data you have from Q4 last year, if you have it, hopefully, and see what you did best at and see if you can recreate that, what kind of spend, what kind of differences in cost per click that can have this year.
Yeah, just going back into going out of stock, one little tip to try out is to take out the main image. Then that suppresses the listing, and from there it takes it out the calculation path. So you can tell by checking your BSR if it's still going up, you know that the listing hasn't shut properly. A lot of people just close the listing and go, oh, is the dog there? But one way of doing it is take the main image out. Because of that suppression, it takes it out the calculation path in most cases. So there's a little experiment there to retain. So when you go back into stock, then you've got more chance of having that rather than 000 on trailing days in case you didn't shut the listing properly. Let's talk DSP. Kicking off with you, Sophie, you've got a hit list there, haven't you?
What do you mean by a hit list of DSP? What to consider? So I guess there's a few things with DSP. Again, it's really important to think of the funnel. This applies to DSP as much as it does PPC, even though it's obviously its own completely different beast. And it's just making sure that you're testing all of the audiences before you go into Q4 to understand which parts of the funnel are working and not working before going into Q4. So for example, remarketing, what are you doing for remarketing? And then also considering that after the likes of Cyber Monday, Black Friday, making the most of those audiences because the bucket of remarketing is only going to get bigger. And then awareness. So we've got some kind of great like options with Prime Video audiences with DSP, targeting by programs that people are watching, which is we're testing at the moment across a few campaigns. And again, similar to the ranking campaigns, it's fantastic for awareness. So it might not be the biggest in terms of return, but it's great in terms of the click-through rates are insane. So that's a great thing to test. And also there's the video builder on DSP, which I would highly advise trialing and getting involved in. I really like it just because it looks completely native to the DSP platform, and it's super easy to use. So you don't have to be a designer to manage to set one up. But it's definitely something that I would advise, and you just kind of pick your layout, and it sets it up for you. So those are the kind of things I would definitely advise on, and also nude category audiences on DSP. So there's going to be a group of people that aren't necessarily loyal to a particular category as of yet, and COVID has kind of given this a bit of an effect as well. So it's understanding what those nude category audiences are, and how we can attack those on DSP as part of the awareness element of the funnel.
Excellent. Naio, anything to add?
On DSP, not really. I think check if you don't have DSP already, maybe check your sponsored display remarketing performance. If it has been strong, if you've got a product that people like to buy more than once, then definitely check it out. That would be my kind of first.
Excellent. Destaney, anything to add on DSP?
The one thing that we've been looking at is, as we head into Q4, you have the opportunity to attract a new customer base than you have, during all the other quarters. You have so many more people just flooding the platform inherently, traffic goes up, things like that. So we've been looking at just layering in a Q4 remarketing strategy, especially for all of our high priced items, our highly giftable items, things like that. If we're going extremely hard on PPC, we might as well support that PPC with a remarketing strategy. So that way, that one click now becomes, 3 to 4 times more valuable as we sit there and set a strong frequency, and we remind people that this is a product you should purchase for Christmas.
What do you determine is a strong frequency?
Don't ask me. I'm not even going to throw out a number. I'm not going to bullcrap that. Yeah. I'll ask my team and get back to you.
Literally chase you around the web, effectively.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds good. Is there anything else you guys want to cover before we go?
I would say if you're looking for any kind of new strategies or new things to try for this year, look into influencers, because what we can actually do on the PPC side is kind of coordinate our targeting with your external marketing. So I've had a client who uses an Instagram influencer. We've got about 1 million followers, and we actually target the other items in her Amazon wish list. A lot of influencers have them, and they have a big brand name. So usually just targeting that brand name of whatever influencer name or YouTuber, whatever it is, that can get you more traffic. And it's got to have a higher conversion rate usually because they know your brand already. So check them out.
Cool. So Sophie, Naio will be at Seller Sessions Live October 9th, been added to the lineup. So welcome on board for that. Final Seller Session tickets are on Eventbrite. There's about 3 or 4 left, I think, of the packages, which is brought to you by Frasio, LYT Translations, Sellers Alley, Ping Pong, Utasker, Perpetua, and PickFu. The tickets are VIP dinner plus the conference. So Friday night is VIP dinner, 3-course meal. Industry heads will be there alongside the speakers and other Amazon sellers. Then Saturday, 4-day conference, big lineup. Then Saturday night, I'll be DJing. I'm doing a club takeover from 7 p.m. till 2 a.m. And then it's going to be the 2 a.m. until the last people wander through the door for breakfast in the morning. So that will get you inside of your ticket. Sharon Evan will be back here tomorrow in the chair. Before we go, Soph, how does people reach you?
So if you want to reach me, it's at sophie@clearads.co. We're giving out currently free audits to potential clients, so you know where to come.
Excellent. Destaney?
Check us out, betterams.com, or follow us on LinkedIn. We're always posting a ton of content and just trying to help.
Excellent. Naio?
Yeah, I'm usually on the Better AMS YouTube channel, and you can find me on LinkedIn. Naio Olsen-Stahl, pretty easy to find with that name.
Excellent. Guys, thank you for joining us today. Guys, I'll see you back here in the chair next Tuesday. On Monday, Isabella Hamilton. I'll be here Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, Sharon's here on Thursday. Take care of yourself and your family. Much love, and I'll speak to you soon.